Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. You can follow me online by going to Spotify or Apple and just type in Mark Parham podcast and I should pop up. So I was on Twitter, now it's called X, and I saw an image of Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom I think he was somewhere, but there was homeless folks on the street. And, he was walking past one guy who was on the ground, I guess sitting on the ground. And, when you see images like that, you start to realize that for all the talk Gavin Newsom does on these podcasts, he doesn't care about homeless people. And the reason why I say that is because, you always see all of these different things come out and they'll say, well, California's spending on homeless people and we're trying to fix the problem and all this other stuff. It looks like they care about homeless people. But if they really cared about homeless people, they would be tracking the metrics and seeing, okay, why do homeless people have problems? Why are they sitting up and, going back to the streets? Like, to correct the homeless problem, it's not about just throwing billions of dollars at the problem. Like, you actually have to track, different things and see what's going on. Like, actually, see what's going on the ground and things like that. Just throwing a bunch of money at the problem is not going to fix the homeless problem in California. It looks like it's going to fix the homeless problem. It's easy to make a speech and say, oh, we're spending $4 billion or however much they spend. It looks good to the general public when you say things like that, and it sounds good. But when you care about something, you actually check on it and see if it's progressing. It's just almost like, I care about my car at the mechanic shop, but I've left it there for 4 years. It's almost like someone saying that. And so, all of these sound bites and lip service that Gavin Newsom gives about, the homeless problem in California, I call it the homeless crisis. If he really cared, forget mentioning a bunch of, all the money they spend on trying to fix the problem. If he really cared, the homeless problem would be fixed. Like, he'd be on the ground checking out, where's the money going to? And there's been reports that have come out to, say that some of that money that was being spent, supposed to be spent on the homeless, was actually, going into people's pockets behind the scenes, allegedly. And so, a lot of these politicians in California, especially Gavin Newsom, they love to always say, well, we're spending a bunch of money on X, Y, and Z. We're spending billions of dollars over here. We're spending billions of dollars to help people do this and do that. And it sounds good. But when you really do some, background investigation and you really do some research, you find out that that's just a tactic to, get people's attention off of what's really going on. And, just like Minnesota, did the same thing. Minnesota sat up and said, oh, we're spending billions of dollars to help, people in the Somalian community get this and get that. And then you do some research and find out, wait a minute, you got somebody who has a business that's getting millions of dollars and there's no customers or there's no folks coming in that business or out of that business. And so people have to really get away from the sound bites and a lot of the, feel good talk and say to themselves, what's really going on behind the scenes. And it took somebody like Nick Shirley in, going to Minnesota and really finding out what's going on. So can you imagine what would happen if Nick Shirley went to California? Like, if you think the corruption in Minnesota is bad, imagine if Nick Shirley decides to go to California. Like, he could almost probably sit up in probably almost stay there for the next 5 years to find out what's going on behind the scenes. Like, Nick Shirley could almost say, you know what, I'm going to get a place in California, in LA, and just go around. I mean, he could, if he never went anywhere in the world and decided to just stay in California and uncover corruption, oh Lord, he could sit up for the next 10 years, 20 years and just live in California and go around and just find corruption at the drop of a hat. And so again, in the comment section, let me know how you feel about the homeless crisis in California. Like I said, I don't think Gavin Newsom cares about homeless people in California, because if he did, he would be, tracking what's going on with the money, and he's not. So let me know how you feel about the homeless problem in California. And also, should someone like Nick Shirley, should California be his next place that he comes to visit? Let me know in the comment section.